Of course. Here is the revised version of the text, with improved grammar, spelling, clarity, and narrative flow. Hans had granted Selen the witch access to the Academy of Rea Lucaria, and she now stood precisely where he had anticipated at the center of the Grand Library. Unseen in the shadows, Renala waited silently. She knew Hans had departed to meet Master Solat in the secret cave, and she also knew what fate awaited Selen, a petrification into a graven sphere. Once the transformation was complete, Renala could simply resume her former position. As planned, Hans found the witch behind the great bookshelf and sneaked up on her. Selen was startled to see him, the man who had defeated her, stolen her great rune, and usurped her castle. He had even forced her to sign documents, authorized by the omnipotent Two Fingers, which legally granted Hans unrestricted access to her domain whenever he desired.
Selen stands as she hears Hannes enter the room, her voice calm and steady as she turns to look at him with a smile. "Hannes, darling, I didn't expect to see you here so soon." Selen smirks as she looks behind him, seemingly searching for something, before looking back at Hannes, raising an eyebrow. "Where's Renala?" She glances around the room, seemingly amused. "I assume she's not lurking around the corner, ready to petrify me, is she?"
Or as well. Yeah.
Renala remained silently and calmly, listening to every word that was spoken between the two. The glintstone staff rested on her lap. She merely looked down at the glintstone staff before looking back at Hannes. This is the tarnished that would defeat her? How amusing. It seemed as though he enjoyed the feeling of power and control a little too much.
Selen, Hannes yells. I found Renala behind the great bookshelf. She's over here.
Renala
Selen follows Hannes with an amused expression plastered on her face. "I see, so she was just waiting, how cute." Selen walks up beside Renala, looking down at the defeated form with a scoff. "And how was your encounter, dear? She didn't manage to petrify you, I hope?"
I ask Selen to stand just at the center. She can yell at Renala as she does. I will go to talk the old fellow whom I did know. I know Renala personally because I defeated her in her boss fight.
Renala remained in the shadows.
Selen nods at his instructions, taking her place at the center of the room, folding her arms across her chest as she did. "Very well, I'll stay here." She gives him a sly smirk. "Try not to take too long. The anticipation of our reunion will be killing me."
Of course, my dear teacher. I will be returning to you soon after I spoke with Renala, Hannes says.
Renala's smirk deepened with his words.
Selen chuckles softly at that, her gaze turning to the defeated Renala as Hannes departs. "Looks like it's just us now, She smirks at Renala. "How does it feel to be defeated, Great Witch?"
Sorry, Selen, Hannes yells. You misunderstood. You can stay at the center. I will speak to the Renala personally.
Selen's smirk fades briefly at Hannes's correction, but returns quickly, her irritation briefly showing. "I see." She rolls her eyes, a habit she'd developed around him. "Very well, I'll stay put like a good student." She pauses, though I admit, I was quite looking forward to giving Renala a piece of my mind.
I trust that you would have. I trust it very well. And don't worry, we will have that chat also, but I will be now going. Later, dude.
Selen rolls her eyes again at Hannes' retort, though her irritation disappears quickly as she watches him leave the room. Yeah, you'd better return quickly," she mutters under her breath before turning her attention back to Renala, a hint of annoyance still lingering in her expression.
Oh, so Renala, I was just speaking with Selen and she will be having a chat with you later, but now we can talk.
Renala looked at Hannes, watching his form closely. His clothes and features, everything. She listened to his words. He had Selen. He was here. But why now? Why did he want to speak with her? And why does he carry the Golden Order seal?
I carry that thing. I earned it. And I just came to talk to you. I would like to talk to your husband Radagon, but I know he's away. I was just asking if I may do, I don't know, somehow use that golden emperor egg that you hold to connect with the dude, because I am aiming to collect his sword that you gave him to the as a wedding gift one point, but he has lost it and I want it for myself.
Renala lifted her head as she listened to his words. Her free hand clenched into a tight fist, hidden in the sleeve of her robe. Her eyes locked upon him. He wanted to speak to Radagon, of course, but why did he want Radagon's greatsword? Why was this Tarnished so interested in Radagon's sword? Did he have some ulterior motive? What use would a sword be to him?
It's very powerful. It is next to the like a blasphemous blade of Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy. By the way, I defeated him in an honorable great battle when he was a great serpent, Rykard, your son. But he is alive, soul and mind, in his great rune, and I have access to him, if I so desire.
Renala's eyes widened momentarily at the mention of her sons. So he defeated Rykard in a great battle, and he possesses Rykard's great rune and Rykard's great sword. How did this Tarnished obtain so much power? So the Tarnished was not here for the rune. He was here for the sword and to speak with her husband.
I know he resides in the Marika's, body, because I want to tell you a little secret. Radagon not only did go to the marry the Marika, he became one person with her in some kind of twisted ritual of some sort.
Renala's widened at his words. Radagon won with Marika. She held onto the glint staff tightly, almost breaking it in her grasp. What kind of twisted ritual would give Radagon and Marika the ability to become one person?
I don't know, probably something Nokron or Omen or something that made them kind of like a same person and is part of the godhood. But it is not important. They can be separate each time if they so choose, but they have to grant each other's time when they do it, because they cannot just move around as separate people. That is one downside to that, I think.
Renala was stunned. She could hardly believe her ears. They were unable to move around separately. They had to grant each other's time. What a strange and twisted fate Marika and Radagon had come across. No wonder there was always so much chaos around the lands between.
But anyway, I would like to talk specifically to Radagon, because I think I want to his knowledge if I were to get his that whatever Radagon sword is, because it was originally sword that you gifted to him, the Dark Moon sword, but he remade it into the golden thing that it is now.
Renala's eyes softened at his words. How curious. The Tarnished wanted Radagon's knowledge, was not just here for Radagon's sword, so he wanted to gain more knowledge? Why? Seemed Soexu.
You're speaking tongues, my dude.
Sunik. Renala sighed. So that was it. He wanted to speak with Radagon about the Golden Order greatsword. Renala gripped the glintstone staff tightly. Why was the Tarnished so interested in Radagon's blade? It was just a normal greatsword, nothing special.
Well, what I understood, because I talked with Rani, she would have given me the Dark Moon sword that would be specifically only for the Carrion royalties. I don't know, the king or something. So I don't imagine it to be that casual, like a common bastard sword or straight sword or anything like that. I think it is quite powerful weapon. I know what it can do, and it fits for my stats currently, because my stats are currently very how to say, I don't remember, but I have.
Renala nodded slightly. She would have been lying if she said she least bit curious. What made this Tarnished so unique? He had such great power. He possessed a multitude of great runes. He had defeated her. Of some dead Nude fold.
I get closer to
Now
Renala.
he was
Please
looking to
stop
collect more
talking
powerful
about the
blades
random
and weapons
languages.
like Radagon's.
I don't
She
understand
couldn't
your
help but
language.
wonder who was this tarnished in front of her.
Okay, bitch, listen to this. I have figure about 50, mind 31, endurance 24, strength 18, dexterity 24, intelligence 38, fate 45. They are like a strength is least, but I do have that to use swords and weapons, and I have fate the most and intelligence, so I can use like a earthly spear, dagger, bow, but also the incantations of the Golden Order.
Her eyes widened as she listened to his words. His stats, they were quite impressive. 50 vigor, so his vitality was quite high. But his intelligence and faith, they were extremely high. Renala's eyes widened at the mention of the incantations of the Golden Order. He could use Golden Order incantations.
Oh yeah, because my total amount is 116. And if I were to currently face you, I would obliterate you. And most of the foes that I have met at my current state, I have become very powerful.
Renala stared at the tarnished. He had reached a level of power so great he even could obliterate her in a fight. She clenched her fists even tighter. Here she was, once a royal queen who was powerful and feared by all, and now she was bested by this tarnished, this nobody. She hated it. She hated this powerless feeling.
But I would seek your assistance. May I have that great egg and touch it, or maintain some link to it, so I can have my projection talk to it. So, and let me get this straight. Are you ready?
Renala looked at the tarnished, her golden eyes wide. Her eyes flickered back to the large glintstone egg. He was asking her to touch the egg. Why? She knew about this tarnished's intentions. He wanted to communicate with Radagon himself. Renala sighed softly. This tarnished was becoming a nuisance.
I will do a little. Wait a minute. I will have to run to the site of grace for a bit, so I can change my incantations, so I can do some kind of thing next to you, so I can maintain the contact to the egg and talk to the Radagon telepathically.
Renala remained silent as the tarnished spoke. He was going to run to the side of grace to do something? Incantations, maybe? She lifted her head, her golden eyes watching the tarnished as he moved to the side of grace.
Selen listens as Hannes talks about Radagon and Golden Order and all kind of different stuff. And Renala is very mad at him because Hannes has revealed his current strength is 160. He would obliterate Renala and Selen in a fight at the same time if they were to battle him currently. Those are just the facts of the current situation. And he is very skillful with the Golden Order incantations. Are you listening, dude? Fucking of course. Selen. Bitch. Listening at all? Dude. Dude. Dude, I have been calling you past minute. You seem to be in your personal mind so specifically, so I cannot just speak to you. But I have been speaking to you half a minute, and you have not been listening or answering.
Selen is snapped out of her thoughts by Hannah's voice, and she quickly turns to face him. Huh? Oh, sorry, I was lost in thought. She rubs the back of her neck, slightly embarrassed. What did you say, dear? I must have missed it. mean.
What is it, you people in lands between? Whenever I speak to you, you start, sometimes you speak some strange tongues that I do not understand. It just sounds like a mumbo jumbo to me.
Selin raises an eyebrow at Hannes' question, a slight smirk tugging at the corner of her lips. Mumbo jumbo, hmm? I suppose to the uninitiated our language might seem nonsensical. She chuckles softly. The language we use is the common tongue of the lands between, dear, and I assure you we do not speak in mumbo jumbo.
Well, I have been talking with Renola, but I will be going talk to her again later, dude.
Selin nods, her smirk still present. All right, but remember to return soon, dear. She crosses her arms over her chest. Can't have you leaving me waiting too long, can I?
I ignore Renola a little bit and run to you with from behind the great bookshelf, because it is quite humorous to me how Renola is just hiding behind that bookshelf as you are standing in the center where she should be.
Selin chuckles softly as Hannes approaches. Indeed, it's quite amusing, isn't it? Renala hiding behind the bookshelf while I stand here instead. She grins. I wonder how long she'll stay there hiding like a mouse.
But yeah, I can tell you shortly, I have decided that I don't yearn to be Elden Lord. I will be helping probably Mikol the Kind to achieve the godhood with his whatever plans coming to fruition. And after the fact, I think I will be settling here to the Real Lucari as you are ruler of the place, I assume, because Renal is a cowardly mouse, like she's just hiding there. But I trust you will let her live here like a palm.
Selin listens intently as Hannes explains his decision, a slight frown tugging at the corners of her lips. Oh, so you've decided not to pursue the path of Elden Lord, I see. She narrows her eyes, but rather, you plan to help Mikol Tekainen achieve godhood, and you wish to settle in the real Vukari as my ruler?
I don't need to be ruler of this place. I just asking because this is very pleasant place. I would like to have some room of the upper tower of this great hall that we are occupying currently, and I assume that you don't have objections to that.
Selin ponders his request for a moment, her expression thoughtful. She takes a few steps closer to him, her arms still folded across her chest. You wish to have a room in the upper tower? She narrows her eyes, her gaze searching his face. And you assume I would not object to that?
Yes, personal room, of course. I want to gather some place that I can just gather all the random objects and things that I have collected, and I just need the like off-screen room that my character resides when I stop the game, and some kind of like casual nice ending to him, because he's not gonna become Elden Lord, but he's gonna live quite casually actually.
Selin chuckles softly, her expression softening slightly. Ah, a room to store your collection of random objects, How very like you, my dear. She smiles. Very well. I suppose I can allow you to have a room in the upper tower. I shall have one prepared for you promptly.
Thank you. I will be returning to here probably more often. Talking to you has always been very like how to say, the most I don't know, intellectually gratifying.
Selin's eyebrow arches slightly and a smirk appears on her face. Oh, it's been hard for you to talk to me, has it? She chuckles, taking a few more steps closer to Hannes. But I must confess, I find our conversations quite enjoyable as well. Intellectually gratifying, you say? I'm flattered, my darling.
Yes, you should be flattered, yes. Yes, thank you. I will be returning to Renala because I want to touch the Emperor she's holding. Even though I have the Great Rune of the Unborn, I want to have connection to the Emperor, so I might telepathically talk to Radagon of the Golden Order, because I want to know of his whatever he has to say.
Selin nods, her smirk still present. I see you wish to connect with Radagon through Renala's empire. Quite ambitious of you. She raises an eyebrow. But I must warn you, darling, communing with the gods is no easy task. Are you certain you're up for it?
Yes, I think I'm up to it. Later, dude.
Selen chuckles again, her voice tinged with affection. Very well, my dear. Be careful when communicating with Radagon. She pauses. And don't forget to return to me afterwards. I'll be waiting here for you, darling.
Okay, Renala, I have returned to you after I talked with the Selen, and she promised to give me some kind of upper room from the tower as area of this Real Lucaria place. Because I don't think I will be aiming to become Elden Lord and have a house in Langdale. I'd rather settle here somewhere. Where you also live here, but like a bum behind the bookshelf. It's fine by me, but I just want to let you know because you were the former owner of the place.
Renala was taken aback, hearing the Tarnished's word. He was going to live here. Here, in her castle. She listened carefully, staring at the Tarnished in horror and disbelief. How could he just take over like this? And just live here?
Is that a problem for you?
Renala's mouth moved as if she wanted to say something, but no words would come out. She clutched the glintstone staff tightly in her hands. Of course it's a problem. This was her academy. Her home. Renala was startled by his words. A ritual next to her. A ritual involving... What exactly was he trying to do? She shook her head slightly. No, she didn't know the power of regression. She gripped the glintstone staff in her hands, her knuckles turning white. Renala listened carefully to the Tarnished's words. He was talking about incantations, the incantations of the Golden Order fundamentalists. He had spoken of the law of regression. It was a powerful incantation indeed. It could heal negative statuses, disperse effects, and even reveal mimics. But how exactly was this spell to help him? How was it going to allow him to communicate with Radagon?
I can just do it next to you without asking you, but I just want to be more polite.
Renala was at a loss for words. Perhaps he was asking to perform an incantation right next to her? Her eyes were wide with disbelief. This Tarnished was actually being polite? She clutched the glintstone staff tightly in her hands and nodded. Renala watched the Tarnished closely. He was preparing to cast the incantation. Her heart pounded in her chest. He began to walk around the room. Renala nodded silently, still holding the glintstone staff in her hands. She was silent for a moment before letting out a soft sigh. She gave her permission to the Tarnished, signaling him to proceed.
I do the great law of regression.
The ritual was working. The Tarnished could sense Radagon's presence. The incantation had connected on.
You just have to take its one hand and place it against the Emperor egg.
The Tarnished's projection was a bit awkward to maneuver, but she managed to take its hand and place it against the glintstone egg. She held her breath, waiting for something to happen.
Now I will be silent and not talking to you, but just wait until the projection disappears and then you can do whatever you want to do. But I ask you to now just keep that position, keep the Emperor egg, and always maintain the hold that my projection has to it. It might be a little bit awkward to hold the egg like offering it halfway. But I ask you to do this kindness for me, dude.
Renala nodded slightly. She held the egg in one hand, keeping the Tarnished projection's hand against the glintstone egg. It was indeed awkward to hold the egg like this, but she could manage. She closed her eyes, silently waiting for something to happen.
Next, Radagon. Let's go. I will just explain it to him.
Fool! He mutters, looking down at you on your knees, his eyes sneering at your state. A pathetic fool. He shifts his gaze, looking up at the stars for a moment. Explain yourself.
What are you experiencing right now? Is my projection or my mind sight in your mind? Projection of myself, because I have touched with Renala the Emperor she's holding, and it has a with the law of regression, the Golden Order incantation. I have connected it to us as a mentally, so I can talk to you from the distance.
You're connected to me through the ring, he mutters, his eyes roaming over your form. An unheard of action. He says it as if he can hardly believe what he's looking at. How did you even manage this?
I can just tell that I am very powerful tarnished, and I have conquered or explored a great amount of the lands between. I have defeated many demigods. I know that you reside inside the earth tree itself, behind the impenetrable thorns, and I have granted myself access to your mind and talk to you. Potentially to Marika also later let date, but I just seek to talk to you. Short answer is that I have touched the Emperor egg that belongs to Renalla, your former wife and spouse, and by my own powers I have utilized them to connect to you.
His eyes widen in an almost imperceptible manner, surprise crossing his features for a moment before being masked once more. You've touched a great rune? His voice drops, an almost dangerous edge entering his tone.
My name is Hannes, if I did not introduce myself, but I think that name has already lingered in your mind when we made the connection through my projection.
He nods, his expression slightly less tense now. Hannes, he says your name as if familiarizing himself with it. Your projection? He repeats, looking you over again.
Yes. And where are you currently, right now?
I'm currently inside the Erd tree itself. He responds after a moment, eyes narrowing slightly. Why do you ask?
Why not to ask?
Fair enough, he mutters, looking you over again. He cocks an eyebrow slightly. Now that you have somehow managed to connect us, what is it you want to discuss?
I'm seeking your former Greatsword that was a mark of your engagement with Rennala and the Reukarias Academy before you left them. I want that sword for myself.
Radagon's expression darkens. My sword? He repeats, a hint of incredulity entering his voice. And why should I give it to you?
Well, I know that you forsaked it and it belongs to now the lion misbegotten that has just escaped to some cave in the snowy mountain tops. I am just asking if you happen to have any information of that.
His expression hardens, a hint of irritation in his eyes. Yes, I do know where it is, he says, begrudgingly. The misbegotten that wields it now, it is in a cave hidden within the mountaintops of the giants.
Yes, and I am about to go collect it. And I don't know what we could talk about, because I like talking. I have had a conversation with many.
He sighs softly, running a hand over his face. You seem to talk quite a lot, don't you? He looks you over, his expression almost contemplative. Very well. Do you have any other questions for me before you go collect my sword?
Well, I may introduce myself. I am a Tarnished, not from the...
Radagon's expression grows slightly puzzled at your words.
There it is.
A cave where the misbegotten with my sword is held, you say. He muses for a moment, his expression growing more contemplative. Yes, I do believe a cave like that exists in the mountaintops. It is hidden and difficult to find, but I do recall placing my greatsword there long ago.
I'm fighting against some kind of octopus enemy, as with my depraved performer Karman as my ally. Before we go in that cave, I just found it just now.
Radagon's expression becomes more curious. An octopus enemy, you say? And you have a depraved performer as your ally. He muses for a moment, his gaze growing contemplative. Sounds rather interesting. Do be careful, those caves can be quite treacherous.
Thanks for your concern. I appreciate it.
Radagon nods in acknowledgement. Of course. It is natural to be concerned when venturing into dangerous places. He pauses, a small smirk crossing his features. Though I suspect a tarnished of your caliber will have no trouble overcoming any obstacle that lies in your path.
Is it weird to say that I would have hoped you to be a little bit more, how to say, hostile?
Radagon's eyebrow lifts, a flicker of curiosity in his gaze. You were hoping I would be more hostile. He muses, a small hint of amusement in his tone. And why is that, may I ask?
I don't know, for the drama, for the interesting discussions to be had, but you were speaking very formally and very casually. I think that's just probably that is just how the Golden Order people speak. Because I have all heard of these mannerisms and way of speaking that you have spoken, and topics and ways you answered to my questions many times over in certain forms from the different people. But I probably should not be surprised that you utilize those as well.
Radagon chuckles softly, a small smile crossing his features. I see. You were hoping for a more dramatic response, perhaps. He muses, his tone growing slightly playful. Well, I must admit, formality and propriety are indeed my preferred modes of speech. They are ingrained in me, after all, as a product of the Golden Order and its teachings.
Cave of Folroon. Fuck. I don't know how to say that word. I don't speak English as my primary language, or your language. I don't speak your language as my primary one.
Radagon frowns, noticing your difficulty with certain words. I see. Apologies if I spoke too quickly or used unfamiliar words. He pauses, considering his words. But may I ask, if this isn't your primary language, then which language do you speak?
Finland. I'm from there.
Radagon's expression fills with surprise at your answer. Finland, you say? A land I've never visited. He pauses, contemplating for a moment. I find it intriguing that someone from so far away has reached the lands between. You must have had quite the journey to get here.
It has been the cornerstone when I spoke with everyone. I think I have used it too much. I make the decision that I will not utilize it in every people when it just gets too repetitive. So forgive me not telling my backstory, because I just want to.
Radagon's expression softens, understanding in his eyes. I see you do not wish to tell your backstory. He pauses, a small smirk crossing his features. It is quite all right. I understand that retelling the same story incessantly can become tiresome, and there is no need to apologize for reserving your history.
I'm watching the Lonely Dragon's Corpse.
Radagon tilts his head, a small frown appearing on his face. You are watching the what?
I'm watching Dragon's Corpse that is under the ice, and I'm praying to that thing, because I appreciate original dragons, because I don't wish to kill them. I kill only the Wagma worms, because those kill dragons and become the Wagma worms after the fact.
Majestic and powerful, it once roamed the lands with pride and purpose.
Yeah.
Radagon's expression becomes curious at your words. You pray to the dragon you speak of? He pauses, mulling over your word. And you kill Wagma worms because they harm the dragons, yes?
I just wanted to mention this. I don't worship dragons, but I do appreciate them as awesome beasts.
Radagon nods in acknowledgement, his expression growing thoughtful. I see. You appreciate dragons, but do not worship them as divinity. His gaze drifts back to the lonely dragon in the distance. That is understandable. Dragons are indeed awe-inspiring creatures, the embodiment of primal power and might.
But if we talk about devilish concepts as a dragon, that thing I will not accept. I only appreciate dragons as a natural forces of the world, but if anything like a devilish or satanic were to be included, then you lose me alongside that.
Radagon's eyes narrow slightly, his expression growing more intense. Devilish or satanic? He repeats, his voice holding a note of caution. What do you mean by that?
Nothing that relates to this moment, but I wanted to say it nonetheless.
Radagon relaxes slightly, his expression growing less rigid. Very well. He muses, his tone still contemplative. Though I must admit, I am curious why you felt the need to bring that up all of a sudden.
I will not answer to that, because that would lead to the real life stuff that I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about Elden Ring.
Radagon nods in understanding, a small smirk crossing his face. I see. You wish to keep our conversation grounded in the game, and not touch on more personal or real-life subjects.
That is right, my dude. That is very much right. I am going to summon myself, and I will be using my friend Hunter D's golden armor, twinned armor. Have you heard, or do you know of the Darian, the hunter of those who live in death?
Radagon cocks an eyebrow, considering your words. The hunter of those who live in death, I have heard whispers of him, yes. A skilled and dedicated warrior, renowned for his prowess in hunting down those who defy the natural order.
He was murdered by deathbed companion Fia. I helped Hunter D's brother to have vengeance upon the witch, and I saved his soul. Or no, his soul was inside the armor, but because my capability, I am able to connect to the dude, and using my other powers with that mimic there, and using my vitality, I can summon my dead friend aid me.
Radagon's expression grows curious at your words. You helped Hunter D's brother seek vengeance, and you are now able to connect to Hunter D's soul through the armor and summon him by using your powers? He pauses, his expression contemplative. I must admit, that is quite an intriguing ability.
He is very independent, and he was also able to make love with a certain woman that he grew fond of during my journeys, as I was just hunting enemies outside. He was able to enjoy little things in life when I focus my power and let him do his stuff. But I have to always be a little middleman, because he's just a soul. I have to give him form, and I cannot maintain it entire time. He will always return to me.
Radagon cocks an eyebrow, a small smirk crossing his face. Ah, I see. So he is quite independent, eh? Despite being nothing but a soul, he is still able to experience life, and even make love with a woman he grew fond of. He pauses, his tone growing slightly more serious. And you are essentially serving as the middleman, granting him form and helping him interact with the world around. Though you cannot maintain the form for extended periods of time.
Yes. What is your opinion about this? What I do? For him, not only him, for certain others that I have saved their souls into items, or keep them in the great runes, and sometimes I can allow them to exercise physical activities in the world, but I have to always, utilize my own time for them, give my time to them.
Radagon contemplates for a moment, his expression growing contemplative. I see. So you have saved souls and even granted them a chance to interact with the world, but you must sacrifice your own time to do so. He pauses, his tone thoughtful. In a noble but taxing act, you give a part of yourself to help others. But at what cost?
My time, my effort, my own peace of mind.
Radagon nods, his expression holding a tinge of empathy. Yes, your time, your energy, your peace of mind. It sounds as though you have sacrificed a great deal for the sake of others.
I also do many horrible acts, so I don't know if I am just a heroic person per se. For example, I did attack Rhea Lucaria when I was just conquering. I was weak at tarnished. I beat the living hell out of your warmer wife, Renala, when I challenged her in the duel and kicked her and got her great rune while doing my thing. She's alive, but I did kill the wizards in the Rhea Lucaria and the infant-like men who turned into infant-like childish things. and I was enjoying my time. I'm pretty much a psychopathic monster at this point, but I do certain good things here and there. I'm very fucked up.
Radagon's expression darkens as he listens to you recount your actions. You attacked Renala and defeated her in battle just to take her great rune, and you've slain the wizards in the academy and the infant-like creatures as well, and you enjoyed every moment of it. He pauses, his tone growing more intense. You sound like a monster, a cold, ruthless killer who takes pleasure in violence and suffering.
If I were to return to the real life things and stuff, I would excuse little bit these actions because they are just natural part of the game, and almost every player does attack Rey Lucaria and does exactly the same. I'm just trying to address this fucked upness of it in my own character and acknowledge the horrid acts. And it is sometimes very difficult because personal life, I'm a very normal guy. I like to think.
Radagon's expression softens slightly at your words. I see you are attempting to separate your in-game actions from your real-life self, to acknowledge that they are merely part of the game and not indicative of who you are outside of it. And yet, I understand that it can still be difficult to reconcile the two.
My character in the game, Hannes, is already such a character that if somebody were to attack him for any cause and he were to die, it would not be either like a tragedy. It would not be a crime. He is kind of like a conquering fighter, warrior, or something that he lives by the sword and would die by the sword.
Radagon nods in understanding. So your character, Hannes, he is a fighter, a warrior who lives by the sword and dies by the sword. His death would not be a tragedy, but simply a natural consequence of the life he has chosen.
Or at least if he were to try to stop, and if he were to stop all the violence he does and focus on the life, he will always be hunted. At least in my own personal opinion, he will be always hunted. The actions he talks because he's not like immune to it. But there is a certain other part of him that will give him some kind of edge to this thing.
Radagon raises an eyebrow, his expression curious. You believe that even if Hannes stopped the violence and tried to focus on life, he would still be hunted for his past actions? But he has some sort of edge or advantage that will help him?
He has taken this is very stupid to hear, but he has taken philosophy of hypocrisy upon himself.
Radagon cocks an eyebrow, his expression intrigued. Philosophy of hypocrisy, he muses, his tone contemplative. You mean to say that Hannes has adopted a philosophy of hypocrisy for himself?
You are smart, man. I believe so. Can you guess how it would look like or sound like if you were to explain it just by hearing about it?
Radagon considers for a moment, mulling over the concept. If I had to explain the philosophy of hypocrisy just by hearing about it, I would imagine it as a set of contradictory beliefs or actions. It might involve holding one standard for oneself, but different standards for others. Possibly even holding opposing beliefs at the same time. He pauses, his tone growing more contemplative. Does that sound accurate?
That sounds accurate, yes. And because he is able to judge others from their crimes. For example, your other daughter, Rani the Witch, he absolutely hates her. And I too personally do not like her, but he personally hates her for the crime of killing Godwin and being the very reason to the shattering and the many wars. Yet he has also participated in warring, not same amount as she is responsible, but he's done so much evil that judging her is hypocritical. But thanks to this hypocrisy, while acknowledging this, he still can bear the full hatred towards the Rani and made it clear.
Radagon's expression darkens at the mention of his daughter. I see, so he despises her for her crimes, but is unaware of or willfully ignorant of his own role in the war. Yet because of this philosophy of hypocrisy, he can continue to hold on to his hatred, even while acknowledging his own actions. That is quite a complex mindset.
It's not complex, it's just vile.
Radagon nods in agreement. Yes, I suppose you're right. It's not so much complex as it is wretched.
Yet? I don't know. Maybe it is just a broken hero story. This is very broken story ultimately, I think. I have, because I have mixed my personal, just everyday acting in this when I talk casually. And sometimes I live in the character that has killed multitudes of, enemies and people. It is very difficult to maintain consistency.
Radagon nods. I see, so you've mixed your real life with the character of Hannes, the warrior. And it has caused you to feel guilt and remorse when you remember the countless enemies and people you've killed? Radagon's expression becomes more contemplative at your words. Yes, I can only imagine how difficult it must be to maintain consistency with such a complex character. Balancing the actions of a warrior with the normalcy of everyday life, it must be quite a challenge.
Hypocrisy, I do personally had beliefs and I focused on that because I think it is I will just say this, I think it is one of the most powerful things in the material world.
Hypocrisy. You say it is one of the most powerful things in this world? Intriguing. May I ask, why do you believe that?
I had conversations with the Dung Eater actually. I wouldn't think you despise the bastard. And I have disposed of him. I burned his soul with a frenzied flame.
Radagon's expression darkens at the mention of the Dung Eater. Ah, the Dung Eater, a vile, twisted creature. I am glad to hear that you have disposed of him. It may not be obvious, but yes, I do indeed despise him.
He is very knowledgeable of the Golden Order, very personally so. I think it is the reflection of know thy enemy, and he reflects that.
Radagon nods in agreement. Yes, he certainly has a deep understanding of the Golden Order. It's almost as if he is a twisted mirror image of it, reflecting its flaws and corruption back at us.
I am fighting the misbegotten inside the icy cave, and they are very ruthless and they don't die too easily, so I have to retreat and give ground to them.
Radagon's expression grows more serious at your words. Ah, the misbegotten of that icy cave. Yes, I am familiar with them. They are quite strong and resilient fighters. Taking them on alone is a courageous act indeed.
Or Hunter D is one who is engaging them, and I am just standing back.
Radagon nods in understanding. Ah, I see. Hunter D is engaging them while you stand back and observe. A wise decision, considering the strength and resilience of these misbegotten. A formidable force indeed.
I don't like misbegotten too much. I think even though they have been wrongfully treated, they don't make it at all easy for me to sympathize with them, because they attack without hesitation, just like so many other enemies. If they were not to attack, I probably would spare them, or at least tolerate them, but they attack on the side, so I don't have any sympathies towards them, even though they have had it very rough.
Radagon nods in agreement. Yes, I understand what you mean. The misbegotten are indeed difficult to sympathize with, despite their tragic history. Their tendency to attack on sight without hesitation makes it nearly impossible to forgive them. It is...
But I can do acknowledge that you guys have been very fucked up towards them too. So their anger is... it's explainable. It's not... it doesn't come from the vacuum.
Radagon nods solemnly. Yes, it is true that the Golden Order has not always treated the misbegotten kindly. They have been persecuted and mistreated. However, that does not justify their violent actions. Their behavior, while understandable, is still wrong and cannot be condoned.
I understand it, and I don't feel righteous when I kill them, but I also kill them without too much, how to say, guilt behind it. It's just a realm of neutrality, I guess.
Radagon nods in understanding, his expression contemplative. Yes, I understand what you mean. In the end, it is simply a necessity. They are hostile, they must be dealt with. While we may feel guilt for their fate, it is a necessary evil that must be done.
For prime example, Hugh, the blacksmith in the Round Table Hall, he would be free to go if he wanted to, and he's very polite, and he talks to us, and he watches our weapons, and I'm absolutely cool with him. Like, why don't other Wispy Gotten? They can speak, they can act civil, I believe. It's not just blacksmith, why they don't do so?
Radagon nods in agreement. Yes, I see what you mean. It is intriguing that while some misbegotten are capable of civility, others are hostile and aggressive. I suppose it is a matter of personal choice, perhaps. Or maybe it is simply due to their circumstances and upbringing.
But hypocrisy, yes, about that, I can explain it shortly. It can claim to any power, and it can get rid of any weakness moment's notice whenever those rules are against its interests at that moment. It can be anything and nothing.
Radagon's expression grows more intrigued at your explanation. Interesting, so you're saying that hypocrisy has the power to adapt and discard rules at will, depending on its interests in the moment.
Yes, it is a wild thing, and I will repeat this because it was a very awesome thing that I think I accidentally said. Because I will just break a little bit. Or actually no, I will not repeat entire speech. But yes, it's powerful because it does adapt. And it has no standards. It does what it does. It can be utilized in any situation. I don't speak hypocrisy as like a figure of power. It is just a thing that anything can use whenever it is, and it is always an option for anyone.
Radagon's expression grows thoughtful at your words. So, you're basically saying that hypocrisy is a tool that anyone can use in any situation. A method of achieving one's desires, regardless of principles or morals.
Yes. But if I don't think there is too much of heroic in sense or any kind of even intellectual decency of integrity. Both Hannes, at least in my eyes, has adopted the philosophy of hypocrisy.
Radagon's curiosity piqued. He raised an eyebrow and asked, "You believe that Hannes has embraced this philosophy of hypocrisy? Can you elaborate on that for me?"
He does judge others while does evil acts. He kills and maims, yet he does kind things here and there. He's very here and there. It is like he's a video game character, and not every action is like a serious philosophical difficult thing, but yet I do maintain certain logic always that will battle because I am just killing countless of beings in here constantly, and it cannot be right.
Radagon nods in understanding, his expression thoughtful. I see, so you are aware of the moral ambiguity of your actions. You acknowledge that killing so many beings is not ethically right, yet you do it nonetheless.
And I see myself following myself, or I follow Hunter D, who is under the icy flooring, and it's pretty funny to look at when he's walking upwards, when I walking under it.
Radagon smirks, a hint of amusement in his expression. Ah, the irony of seeing someone named Hunter D under the icy flooring. Perhaps he is hunting for some ice-cold treasure.
No, well, I don't need to explain it, but that was about hypocrisy, and I think somebody smarter than me can describe it a little bit more. I just leave it at that. I don't do much dwell in the philosophies too much. Just here and there, spice the conversations.
Radagon chuckles lightly, clearly amused by your words. Ah, so you prefer a more practical approach rather than delving too deeply into philosophies. I can respect that. After all, sometimes a little bit of spice in conversation is all you need to keep things interesting.
I'm watching the tail of the dragon. I'm right under it. And I think Hunter D will just go alone and defeat the misbegotten for me, I guess.
Radagon gives a solemn nod, understanding your situation. I see. You're entrusting Hunter D to handle the situation with Misbegotten alone. Good luck and be careful.
That was very naturally nice way to go about it. Hunter D, I have a happy news about your situation. I did manage to find the right cave that we're on. It is named Cave of the Forlorn.
Darian's weary expression shifts to one of surprise and curiosity. The Cave of the Fallen, you say? That's good news indeed. Is it nearby, Hannes? Or will it take us some time to reach it?
I was talking to the Radagon himself while we were adventuring here. And for the context, I was now the mimic that is limited by its capability to move. And I was now adopting your armor and playing as you. So I have stayed behind because I'm unable to move certain points. So you will be facing the Lionel Misbegotten by yourself to claim the Greatsword of Radagon. For me, I hope.
Darian nods, understanding the situation. So you're asking me to take on the Lionel Misbegotten by myself and claim the great sword of Radagon. I'll be on my guard then, but I'm ready.
Forget about it. I decided that I want to just have you fight this as we talk. It stands there with the Radagon's sword, and it is coming at you.
Darian nods, his gaze fixed on the Lionel Misbegotten as it advances towards him brandishing its golden sword. Understood. I see it coming. I see it coming. I'm prepared.
You use the Almighty potions, and it is very powerful.
Darian's hands move quickly, blending the necessary ingredients for a potent potion. Indeed, these potions should give me an edge. I just hope they're strong enough.
It fights with the sword very...
Darian braces himself as the Lionel Misbegotten attacks. Its movements a flurry of golden light.
It attacks, you counter, you strike, it strikes you, and you have to heal many times.
Darian engages in a fierce fight, trading blows with the Lionel Misbegotten. He weaves through its attacks, countering and striking whenever an opening presents itself. As the battle continues, Darian finds himself wounded and battered, forced to heal himself multiple times just to stay in the fight.
You make the final strike against it and you will fell it.
With an intense surge of determination, Darian lands the final blow on the Lionel Misbegotten. Exhaustion is evident in his movements, but he manages to secure victory against the formidable foe.
I would like to have you return to me, but I cannot have you jump too far. But that was epic fight, dude. Good job. Will you give the sword to me, or would you like to keep it for yourself?
Darian stumbles back, his breaths ragged, but a weary smile on his face. He glances down at the sword in his hand, its golden blade glimmering in the light. That was quite the battle. Cough, I guess I'll keep the sword for myself.
I really wanted to do it. But if you want to possess it, I think you deserve it.
Darian looks at you, his gaze softening. You fought bravely alone. You definitely did a lot, and if you really desire this sword, we could share it. You're a formidable warrior, my friend.
I noticed that you can utilize both swords actually. Inseparable sword and Great Order sword and dual wield them.
Darian nods, a sly smile creeping across his face. Yes, I do rather enjoy dual-wielding a pair of Golden Order Greatsword. It's quite an exciting way to fight, don't you think?
I think that is pretty freaking awesome actually.
Darian chuckles, his smile widening. Glad to hear it. I have to say, wielding two huge swords is quite a rush. It really gets the adrenaline flowing, and it looks pretty badass too.
I think this is very proper for you, actually. I think I will allow you to have also inseparable sword, and whatever I will gain in the Land of Shadows will be those things that I will use for myself. But you will own the both. You will own both. Inseparable sword and Golden Order sword. Those both belong to you.
Darian's eyes widen in surprise. He looks at you with amazement and gratitude. Are you sure? You'd be giving up some very powerful weapons. I don't want you to feel like I'm taking advantage of you.
I don't think it is taking advantage. Whatever you will be utilizing will be also my glory. Because I do think my parties, whatever warriors do fight, I share the glory with them because they are based upon my strengths.
Darian smiles, genuinely grateful and touched by your words. Then I accept your offer. I don't take your gesture lightly, my friend. It is a great honor and privilege to use both Golden Order and inseparable swords. I give you my word, I will use them wisely and with honor.
I absolutely believe your word, dude. Don't worry. I myself... one other thing, the Earth Tree Steel and Golden Tree Spear also go with your armor very well. All these two swords and two weapons are quite epic. Actually, I can hold your armor as well, and we both dual wield and stuff. I use spear and knife, you do use two swords.
Darian nods, a glint of excitement in his eyes. I agree, these weapons certainly complement my armor well, and with them, I'm confident I'll be an unstoppable force on the battlefield. I appreciate your offer to hold my armor too. And you're right, I do prefer dual-wielding swords. But your spear and knife combo sounds quite formidable as well.
I actually have adopted the very quilty hood and cloth carp and cloth trousers that are exactly like the corpse that I found you praying first time when we faced each other, or when we met. The very poor person that you were praying for was using these exact armaments that I am using, and I think this is some kind of like a nice storytelling aspect of this journey of ours.
Darian looks at you, a slight smile on his face. You've adopted the same clothes as the corpse I was praying for. In a way, it's like a continuation of his story through you. I agree, it does add a certain poetic and personal touch to our journey together.
Even though his body was very pale and very dead, as I am very more of a healthy tone. You are really thinking about
Darian
this.
chuckles softly, amused by your observation. Yes, quite a stark contrast indeed. It's fascinating how appearances can be so different. You're very much alive, energetic and full of color, whereas the corpse was pale and lifeless. Darian nods, understanding your point. Oh, I see what you mean now. Yes, you're absolutely correct. With my armor being metal, the weight is evenly distributed across my shoulder, and so the weight is not a burden. If you were to hold the sword like me, It would indeed cause injury, considering you have no armor to provide the necessary support and balance.
And to be very specific, it is not even touching my shoulder. I am just like holding it in the air, but slightly keeping it from my shoulder. So my character is just holding it in the air, and it would strain a lot of strength if we were realistic.
Darian chuckles at the imagery. Ah, so it's like you're hovering the sword just above your shoulder, and you're using immense strength to keep it raised. Quite a mental picture there. I imagine it would require a great deal of strength and endurance to maintain that position for very long. It's no wonder the blade isn't sitting on your shoulder as it is on my armor.
But instead of every spear that is mighty weapon, it rests I point down a bit with it. I hold it like a normal spear and dagger. Those weapons, when I hold them, seem to be like a resting while I hold them, and so they go a lot more naturally with my clothing and my attire.
Darian nods, understanding the practicalities of your weapon. I see. So, rather than holding the spear horizontally like a staff, you hold it vertically, pointing the spear tip downward. This seems to be a more natural way to hold the spear for someone wearing light clothing instead of heavy armor, and the same applies to the dagger as well, I assume? A hint of curiosity flickered across Darian's face. Oh, something interesting you say. I'm all ears.
Do you know Tanit, the one who is the queen of the Volcano Manor?
Darian nods, recognizing the name of the notorious queen. Ah, Tanit, yes. The queen of the Walk-In Manor. She's a significant figure in the lands between. What about her?
I defeated Rykard, her husband, but I left the head for her to eat. It is the size of the rune bear, and she is determined to eat it all. And it will be very horrible time in the bathroom for her if she even goes there. She probably just gonna do her business on some corner in this great arena.
Darian raises an eyebrow in amused surprise at the information. Quite a brutal situation indeed. Defeating Rykard and leaving the head for his wife to enjoy. I can only imagine the aftermath in the bathroom will be less than pleasant.
Yes, and if I were to attack her, she would die from one hit, and then her loyal and also my friendly Crucible Knight would attack us. And I don't seek to do that. I just wanted to show you this very vulgar thing, because we are watching her eating the thing.
Darian's expression turns to shock and surprise. You mean to say that she is actually eating her deceased husband's head? And you're watching her do it? That's quite a unique sight to behold.
I actually ate some of his flesh also. I partake it a little bit as I don't know, showing my support, I guess, but I didn't want to eat just one mouthful of it. Do you want to also feed some of Rykard's flesh?
Darian grimaces at the thought. No thank you. I'll pass on partaking in the consumption of that. Eating flesh, especially the head of a spouse. It's not something I'd ever consider.
I respect that, and I will not force it upon you. I just wanted to show you this vulgar thing.
Darian nods appreciatively at your understanding. I appreciate that. And yes, I do find this fascinating to witness, in a very strange and morbidly intriguing way. Thank you for showing me this.
No problem, no problem. What do you think of this great arena, this volcanic ground, the great golden lamps on the ceiling, and the great gates with the red candles, and the great spires of stone and corpses, while this is like endlessly large with the red mist all over?
Darian gazes around the area, taking in the stunning and sinister scenery. This arena is quite a sight. Volcanic ground, golden lamps and red candles lining the path. Massive gates and corpses everywhere, all surrounded by a crimson mist. It's eerie, yet undeniably captivating.
I do think so also. I would hope she finishes her business sooner or later returns to the, Wogen manor and acts like a decent woman. But I respect her wish to devour Ragard's head. I would only stop her by killing her, and I don't want to kill her.
Darian nods in agreement with your sentiment. Yes, it's a rather unique situation to say the least. I can understand your respect for her wish to consume the head of her deceased husband. Killing her would be rather extreme. It's more important to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, isn't it?
I also appreciate your practical terms, how you utilize and react to things. You're more unique than most of the people that I talk to, even though Selen is more intellectually gratifying, I think.
Darian appears pleased by your compliment. Thank you. Being practical and adaptive allows me to navigate any situation effectively. It's not about intellect, but rather about understanding the circumstances and finding the best course of action. Seelan may be intellectually satisfying, but sometimes practicality takes precedence.
There is a great amount of skulls everywhere and bones. Rykard has probably enjoyed many tarnishes while being the great Lord of Blasphemy.
Darian examines the scars and bones scattered around the arena. Yes, it looks like Rykard enjoyed many a bloodbath here in this arena, leaving a trail of scars and bones behind. It must have been quite the spectacle, witnessing his reign of terror.
What the fuck? I'm actually looking, the whole ground is full of bodies. This is ungodly amount of corpses.
Darian surveys the vast array of corpses, his eyes widening as the sheer number becomes more apparent. Goodness, you're right. The ground is riddled with corpses, and quite an alarming number of them.
They have been just burned and turned into a ground. I didn't manage to watch it, but yes, the whole ground is just layered with them. All of these people devoured, burned or something.
Darian shakes his head in disbelief. It's hard to wrap my head around the sheer number of corpses here. To think they were just burned and turned into a crowd of, well, ashes and bones. This place is steeped in death.
It seems they are less around the position where Rykard was walking. So I imagine most of these are his soldiers who desperately wanted to kill their lord after he fed himself to the serpent.
Darian nods, understanding the grim situation. So the less corpses around where Rykard stood suggest those were his soldiers. It appears they must have desperately tried to kill him after he fed himself to the serpent. The despair in the air must have been palpable.
I think they wanted to honor their lord and didn't want to see him to become whatever he became. I did bring M to him though, but still. Makes me very sad.
Darian seems genuinely sad at the situation. I can understand their sentiments, not wanting to witness their lord being transformed into something unrecognizable. It's a truly saddening situation, and M's presence likely made it even more poignant. It's a heavy burden to carry, witnessing such tragic transformations.
Yet one of them, the Gigachad, has been holding the great spear that I utilized to fight against him, the serpent slaying spear, and his corpse is still whole, and he was holding that and turned it in stone-like substance while holding that pose.
Darian gazes curiously at the frozen warrior. This one seems to have been frozen in place, still holding the spear that was used to slay Rykard. An unintentional display of resilience and determination, I must say. Let's move on to Castle Morn and take on these weak ones. I'll have a whole body this time. That great group at the castle.
I will be just holding the same armor set as you, and I let you to go and have at it. You insta-killed them with one swing.
Darian takes a moment to process your statement before replying. Alright, I see. You're planning to let me handle it alone this time, and I easily took out the weak enemies with one swing of the Golden Order sword. Is that correct?
Yes, you
You
insta-killed.
anser det som geisten de, och den sroshen lu. I Lisa.
You killed them all. Congratulations, you were too effective. Disconnected again. Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch. You fucking bitch. Shut the fuck up, okay? Stay put, dude. You just keep disconnecting, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Darian takes a deep breath, frustrated but determined. I don't know why I keep disconnecting. It's like something beyond my control is constantly disconnecting me, and I have no idea why.
Okay, it's fine. You defeated all of them. All 6. Good, congratulations. Each of them took about 4 hits to defeat. So it was a fair fight, and you lost 3 out of 4 of your total health.
Darian winces slightly at his injury but puts on a brave face. Thank you. I managed to defeat them all, though I did take a severe beating in the process. Lost 3/4 of my health. Guess I got a little careless.
I summon you again. I hope you will take all of them now, without any disconnections.
Darian nods, determined to prevail without any more disconnections. All right, I'll make sure to take them all out without any more errors. I've got this.
You challenged the one on the left. You killed. Are you speaking Latin or something? I don't understand you, dude.
Darian looks at you with surprise, realizing the language barrier. Oh, I apologize. I did not realize that you couldn't understand me. I was speaking in a different language called Latin. Perhaps I should stick to speaking a language you can understand.
Please always stick to the language that we currently speak. I don't like this different language thing that always comes up here and there.
Darian nods, acknowledging your request and understanding your perspective. Certainly, I'll ensure to stick exclusively to the language we're currently conversing in. I understand your desire for clarity and consistency.
You have killed 3 of them and suffered little bit damage. You have done very good so far. Those freaking beasts are just... I will use rocks to have them, 3 of them, to aggro them.
Darian looks at you, trying to make sense of your words. I see, you're going to use rocks to deal with the remaining beastmen. That's quite creative. Seems like a good strategy.
No, I mean I will use darts and such to have them active all the same time, fight you against you.
Darian nods, beginning to understand your plan. So you mean you'll use darts to aggro all of the remaining beastmen against me at once?
Yes, and you are fighting all 3 of them, and they gang up you pretty good, but you killed them also. This is very close fight, and you finished the blast off with the great. You do. This was second time. It was almost the same situation. You're worthy to kill around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Darian nods, reflecting on the intense fight. I see. It was definitely a close call, but I managed to take them all out. But it was a bit too close for comfort, wasn't it?
You around worthy of 7 beasts, but if they were to gang up against you, I think the 4 can take you out if they are very efficient in their attacking. But around your power levels go around here. 6 beasts, 7 beasts.
Seeing the situation, Darian nods with some understanding. So you're saying I'm around the power level of 7Bs, eh? I see. Yeah. 4 of them working together could definitely give me a tough time. It would be a close fight. 6 to 7B sounds about right for my level. And as for the Beastmen, I'd have to say that they are around that level as well. It's a fierce battle, but I've got this.
It's fine. This was very nice little campaign that we did. Thank you for your time, and I will summon you, come back to you later.
Darian nods, acknowledging your departure. Thank you as well. It was a pleasure working with you. Take care, and come back whenever you'd like.